Hey, this is Jamie from CapsuleComputers.com, and I want to welcome you to yet another episode of Capsule Computers Indie Spotlight. Today we are featuring Gravy from Hashbang Games. This is their first game, and it's available for $9.99 on Desura. They are currently running a Steam Greenlight campaign, where you can find the link to on the description of this video. Gravy is a puzzle platformer with heavy reliance on its physics engine. A lot of the puzzles, as you'll see, are physics-based. And the point is, you're trying to get Gravy, our little blue ball of energy here, to the exit tube of each level. And on his way are tons of traps, as you can see in the background of this menu. There are spike traps and rolling crushing traps and all sorts of things that will lead Gravy to an early death. You will die a lot, Gravy. There is no other way to put it. Whether it's by traps, by your own failures, or by Anti-Grav in the corner here, who is the final boss in all 4 chapters. Gravy is described to be a test of your tolerance for pain, and I have to admit, alright, I'm pretty as you're going to see in this video, I'm pretty terrible at these sort of games, like really especially terrible, but this game at times will be challenging even for, I guess, more talented players. So we'll just kick up the boss level just to demonstrate. Now, in Gravy, all the levels are timed, as you can probably see in the timer in the corner here, and my score slowly ticking down. Every level is timed. You have unlimited amount of lives to do it. However, the more you die, the lower your score is going to be. Now, you can gain a little more scores by collecting the little green collectible on each level, but to do this, you're going to have to be fast, you're going to have to be accurate, and you're not going to have to die. As you can see, I'm just going to roll here, and you can see that it's just, whoop, yep, there we go, physics-based, very strong physics engine. I found the controls to be good for the small exception of the back and forth controls. I don't know if the physics engine is just a little exaggerated or it was just meant to be like this, but when you move Gravy, he doesn't really stop on a dime. He just kind of keeps rolling forward or backwards, and trying to get him to slow down and stop at important points before you hit a, I guess, like a trap can be really hard at times, even if Gravy's speed isn't moving very quickly. Now, Gravy has 2 abilities. The first ability is he chucks out a little ball of gravitational energy, and once the ball makes contact against a wall or something, Gravy will go flying towards that area. Now, Gravy's ball, as you can see, has a distance. It kind of arcs like a grenade launcher. And if it hits a trap, it's going to come straight towards you, and if it doesn't, but it's too far out of your range, which is this little, I guess, the blue orb that follows the gravitational ball, you'll see, I guess, later when I'm in a better position, well, it'll automatically suck Gravy towards that area. If you've thrown the ball too far, then you're going to have to actually get within the gravitational pull to move Gravy forward. Gravy's other ability is to chuck out little gravitational balls, and as you can see, he shrinks as I chuck them out. And then once all 5 are thrown out, they all automatically will come back. Now, you can withdraw it. Let's say if I hit, I don't really have a place, but if you hit the ball where it's gone but you can't get it back, you can always just hit spacebar to move forward. So let's just swing into action here, so to speak. As I said, you'll have to pardon me, I'm pretty terrible at this game. As you can see, pretty bad at this game. Alright. Okay, here we go. Now, scattered across levels are checkpoints, so if there is a particularly difficult level, you're not going to have to start from the beginning every time you die, which can obviously be extremely frustrating. There are a variety of traps in Gravy, and as the chapters progress, more and more traps and, I guess, puzzle elements are introduced in the game. It's definitely a game about timing and accuracy, needless to say. The level design in Gravity is actually pretty impressive. Some of the earlier puzzles are pretty, I guess, I wouldn't say easy, but they are relatively challenging, but they're not going to make you pull out your hair. Well, obviously, later levels, as you can see, can get a little frustrating at times. Alright, so... Alright, here we go. So, here's the first boss fight of Gravity. One of the things I really wish that the developers did here was at least kind of explain, you know, you're entering your first boss fight, stay away from him. You're actually kind of left just to your own devices to figure out that anti-grav is actually very, 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 very bad to touch. Now, boss fights are more... I guess the boss fights are more timing puzzles. As you can see, anti-grav actually follows the same movement pattern almost every time, roughly. Or at least in the beginning area he does. And you do have... Oh, well, I have to say, that was actually a first. I have never seen anti-grav die like that. I've always had to avoid him. Well, I guess there is new surprises every time. But as you can see, it is a timing thing here. To get out of the level, you have to time it correctly. And yes, I have died quite a bit in this game. I'll show you some of the Chapter 2 stuff. As you can see with chapters, there's a bit of a visual difference, but they do add, I guess, new puzzle elements in the level. The level design is pretty solid, and yeah, some of them are pretty frustrating at times, but with the 40 levels, it'll probably absorb quite a bit of time, although some of it will be very frustrating. If you're a huge fan of these sort of games, Gravity is a pretty good choice. However, if you're pretty bad at these sort of games, this is going to be an exercise in I want to say frustration, but not all the time. I guess it's like Dark Souls. There's a masochistic pleasure to this game. For the harder levels, they are really, really, really frustrating, but once you actually do get through them, it's a good feeling, I guess. As you can see, you do have a bit of a, I guess, whoops, a bit of a, there is a bit of give, at least in the chant. I do like the fact that you can, I guess, fling yourself quite rapidly. It gives you buys you a little time in the harder areas. Alright, so now you've checked out a couple levels of Gravity. You can go into the comments and tell me what you think about Gravity. If you like the game, be sure to vote for it on Steam Greenlight, and if you want to find out a little more about Gravity, you can check out my written review. Both links are in the the description below, and I'll catch you later on the next episode of Caps Computers Indie Spotlight.